not. But if you want more leisure and relaxable, you can go shower and let the walk away for you.
So nice, yeah.
Nice, right?
Yeah. And it feels very peaceful without the humans.
Oh, I think 那个 rock crossing 快进那掉了。
Oh. We're now heading for the Cars Loop track.
Oh,
Oh, so cute.
The humans are the everyone's entertainment. "这是整棵树哎。
Oh.
What the heck? What animal has orange and black stripes? Panda or tiger?
I have no idea. What is it? Oh,
gecko. What? I love geckos, man.
Please bring your repellent. What animal is inside? I don't see it. Is it still sleeping? Is it stuck in the branch?
There's a bunch.
冷不冷里面？啊，来了你。See heaven. Oh, got two white birds. What is that? Ah, so heavy. Monkeys. It's raining. So shaky. Oh, so scary. You look like monkey. Got the other animals. 给你，你一喊它就出来了。So big! Oh my god，它的鼻子很 cute 哎。Very good for sing. It's going for sing. How is it so small? Actually, there was a group of people before us and they left after waiting for some time. Then right after they left, the people came out. Oh. It's really very fat. We're entering the Crocodile Bridge. Có 2只哈。Quiet zone. Yes.
I thought they will charge it.
Yeah lor.
Go with the road trip.
Just train all the way lah.